Hey, everybody. Hey, hey, hey. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to Empowered Living and what we're talking about today. Talking about what do you need at the age of 70? What are some things that you need at the age of 70? It's today. Today, we're talking about the one thing adults over 70 need to stay independent. What is it that you need to use or have in your possession to stay independent? And I'm going to venture a guess that it's not what you think. I'm going to pin this here. The number one thing adults need to stay independent. Think about that for a second. And once you arrive, if you'll give me a thumbs up, let me know that you're here. And let me say that you don't need to be 70 or older to answer this question. My question, though, is what do you need to stay independent? And I'm going to tell you what I need to stay independent. The thing that I most need to stay independent has nothing to do with money. I am retired. Actually, I retired early. And in order for me to retire early, there were things that I did do prior to becoming retired. But today, I want us to focus on the most important thing that you need to stay independent. And it is not money. Because when you're gone, you have no use for money. And in most cases, money is not going to keep you here. Money can prolong your life by keeping you alive on a machine if you have insurance or you have the financial ability to pay for a machine to keep you breathing. But I'm not talking about just breathing. I'm talking about living. So what is your number one thing that you believe is going to keep you independent? And do not let that one thing be money. Although, as I said, that is what most people think. If you're thinking that it's going to the gym every day, that is going to prolong your life, that is going to help you to stay independent. Going to the gym every day is not going to make you more independent. So think about that. Type in the chat if you're watching the replay. I'd like to know what you think is helping you to remain independent. And your answer may be different from the very next person. And I am going to tell you what my personal belief is, what it is that is keeping me independent. Now, if you're asking at 72, yes, I am very independent. I'm not interested in running a marathon. I'm not interested in swimming. I'm not interested in doing any of those things that's going to drive me nuts. Now, when I was younger, those things didn't drive me nuts. Those were just things that I did. But trying to run a marathon, trying to swim, 10 laps in 30 minutes, 15 minutes, that is no longer me. I'm no longer interested in that. What I am interested in is being and remaining independent. So are you wondering what is my belief, what my thoughts are in retaining my independence? Maintaining my independence allows me to prepare my own meals, drive when I choose to or choose not to, walk through the grocery store and can actually count the change that I should receive after making a purchase. But of course, most of the time you go through the checkout line and there is this machine, you just put your card in, card takes out what you need, but I can see it with my handy dandy glasses. I can do that. I can independently tend to my garden. Now I may need my son to move a few things. But for the most part, I can pick up that 5-gallon bucket, move it from one end of the patio to the next. And oh my gosh, I have the energy to play with my grandchildren for as long as I want to. And then, of course, I can stop when I want to. I can travel. And guess what, guys? This coming weekend, Juneteenth weekend, I'm going to the beach. And I have my two-piece bikini. But I am discreet. I am discreet. I do have a two-piece bikini, but I am discreet with whatever it is that I'm wearing, that I'll be wearing. It's very tasteful, I should say. So I will be going to the beach, and I'm going with my son and my grandkids. So we're going to have a lot of fun. And I can get up from a chair without fear of falling. And actually, this is a roll around chair, and I can sit down comfortably. That is true independence. And finally, well, not necessarily finally, but I've given you some things that I can do on my own, and I can remain in my home for as long as possible. I can answer my phone. No, I do have a cell phone, but all the gadgets that's on this phone, I probably won't ever use. And the most difficulty I have is keeping the volume up. Because on the side, when I hold the phone, I mash these buttons inadvertently and I turn the volume off. Apart from that, I think I'm doing extremely well. Now, am I trying to build a six-pack? No, I am not. Am I trying to lift heavy weights? No, I'm not. And I'm definitely not spending hours at the gym. Now, what I do when I go to the gym, I do walk the track. I do that. I do walk the track, and I enjoy walking the track. What I'm interested in, what I'm truly interested in is retaining my functional strength, my functional health. So, what is functional strength? Functional strength is the ability to do the everyday activities that allow me to live my life with confidence and dignity. I can carry my groceries to the car. I can climb the stairs, raising one foot over the other. Sometimes I even take 2 steps at a time. I do that carefully. I'm holding on to the banister. I can reach into the cabinet, but at 5 feet 11 and a half, I don't have to stretch too far. But I can reach into the cabinet. I can get up and down from the sofa or in this chair that I just showed you, and I can maintain my balance. If you can't do these things, then these are the things that I want you to consider working on right now so that the continuation of doing something is going to increase the possibility of you doing it a lot easier, a lot faster, and without too much of a stress or strain on your body. All right. So I'm going to challenge you to do this right now. If you are able, now you know what you're able and capable of doing. If you're able, I'm going to challenge you to do a simple balance check. Okay? I'm going to stand up. I'm not going to move the laptop, but trust me when I say that I am actually doing this. I'm standing up and I'm going to raise my right foot. I'm not holding on to anything. Now I'm steady and I'm going to hold this pose for 15 seconds or to the count of 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now I'm putting my foot down. After 15, I'm going to come back and sit down, not because I'm exhausted or anything, but I just want to sit down so that you can see that I did do it. I'm not out of breath, and I'm still able to carry on a conversation with the listening audience. Now, it's quite okay if you could do it, you couldn't do it. If you could do it with just the count of three, that's a start. If it takes you a month to get up to the point where you can do it for a count of 15, check that off as a plus. Don't compare yourself to when you were 22, 32, 42, 52, 62. I'm 72, so I'm comparing myself to my 72-year-old person, the person that I am. And this is what I'm able to do. As I said, I can play with my grandchildren, I can work in my garden, and I continue learning new things, like being on YouTube. That is amazing that I'm here on YouTube. If you're watching, I'd love for you to give me a thumbs up if you can, or send up some emojis. Type the number 3 if you're watching the replay, or type replay in the chat. That way I'll know that you're watching the replay. And tell me, what are you doing to remain functionally healthy? Making sure that your system is on go when you're ready to go. It doesn't mean that you need to move at 30 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour. It just means that you need to be ready to go, ready to move when it is time for you to move. Now, my laptop is sitting at a lower table and I'm looking down at the camera. So if it looks like I'm asleep or not paying attention to you, it is where the laptop is actually sitting. So I want to encourage each and every one of you to realize that you are living your best life at wherever you are. This is your best life. Your best life can get better, but it requires your being intentional about this. So I want to leave you with a question before I end this live stream today. I want to ask you a question. So here's the question. What is one thing you do or could be doing to protect your independence? What is one thing you do or one thing that you could be doing to protect your independence? For me, it is being aware of my limitations. I don't walk with a cane. Maybe one day I will walk with a cane, but for now I don't. And it is because I intentionally do things that requires my brain to have to think. I'm a right-handed person. When I brush my teeth with my right hand. Sometimes I use my left hand to brush my teeth. Why do I do that? Because it is not as comfortable to do it with my left hand as it is with my right. So I'm not trying to make my left hand, my left arm become lethargic and do certain things. I want my hand to move when I need it to move. And by giving it things to do that is not the norm, it will follow suit and do things when I need it to do. Sometimes I'll even count myself down from 16, 15, 14, instead of 10, 9, 8. Do something different. Switch it up so your brain will become alert when it needs to be alert. Do not go home if you drive the same way all the time. Go in a different way so that you are intentionally forcing your brain to remain alert. And this is a thought. Growing is a privilege. It is not a right. Growing is a privilege. So I want to encourage you to stay engaged, capable, and independent, because this is something you can nurture every day doing something very, very small. Thanks so much for spending time with me today. I hope that you have enjoyed what I've shared with you. And if you want to leave a comment about what you're doing, I would really love reading about what you're doing to retain your independence. Because without independence, that means you're depending on someone else to adjust things in your life for you. And there's no greater gift than to be independent, choose to do what you want to do when you want to do it. For those of you who have yet to meet me, I'm Priscilla. Those of you who have met me, I'm Priscilla, and I hope to see you all again in my next live stream or on my next upload video. Bye for now. Enjoy your day.